So tonight, I am excited to have next to me Iadara. The energy, y'all. You have to be here to feel it. Hopefully, you can see it through my expression, but it's love, it's peace, it's everything. And I wanted to take time out. It's Women's History Month, March, and I wanted to kind of talk about something special that I feel like all of us can relate to, and that is the beauty of being a woman and what that means from different perspectives. So I have my thought process, but I feel like I have an expert here. Iadara is going to share some highlights on some things about what it means to be a woman. So one of the things that I definitely want to tackle, and this is kind of personal to me, I feel like a lot of times in this day and time, so many people talk about what it is to be a feminine woman. And I think we all have different definitions on, like, clearly, we're women. By birth, we're women, right? But someone might look at you and how you move and say, oh, you're a feminine woman. Someone might look at another woman and say she's more of a masculine woman. Ideally, we're still women. So I would love to know, how do you define a feminine woman?
Well, first I would say the most important thing about femininity is how you feel. No one gets to define for you what femininity is.
Really?
Yes, because you are a woman.
That's true.
You are a woman. And so, yes, there's a thing where a woman can embody more masculine characteristics, right? Still, there is something feminine about her because she is a woman. She is a womb carrier. So womb carriers and being feminine is not always about being a way that is immediately easy for everyone.
Right.
That's not what it's always about. Something that I would say that is an important nugget for us about femininity is about the art of being receptive. The art of receiving.
Receiving, right? Okay, so y'all, if this is helping y'all, please comment below, say something, because what she just said just resonated with me. The whole thing of receiving, and I think that's an important thing to touch base on. I know me personally, I am not used to receiving, and so I think that's where a lot of people say moving in masculine energy, to be able to receive. A lot of people are able to give. A lot of people are used to giving for their children or giving to their friends or their husband or others. But to be able to sit with receiving, can you talk a little bit like what that looks like?
Sure. So there's something about femininity that can at its core be about that which does not act but holds power. So so just like taking a moment to be with that, the doing that we and the performing that we, I think, get socialized into from family stuff and then also into society, school, and all of that is not necessary. Like who we are simply as a being, let alone a born woman, feminine being, is so sufficient. And that's not the messaging that we get.
No, we don't.
We get the messaging that we are needing to earn something in order for us to get the kind of love, attention, credit, accolades that we deserve. So receptivity is about knowing that as the calabash holder, that I am the treasure. And so that it takes knowing and being in and resonating from that truth that I'm the honey pot.
Stop. See, that's powerful right there. Like to actually We are the treasure.
Yes.
But where do we get that message from? Who tells us? Like, you know how many women are probably walking around that don't feel like they're the treasure?
Right. And the thing is that so every human being, right, is valuable by virtue of being born. We're all valuable and worthy of love,
Absolutely.
right? Now, there's something about being a feminine being. The feminine is that which attracts. It's that which magnetizes. So she simply sits on her throne, and then she vibrates a certain kind of way, and then that brings.
So I love what you just talked about when you're saying the vibration. Okay, so vibration, I've heard people talk about functioning at a low vibration. And when you function at a low vibration, you attract certain things that you probably don't want. When you function at a higher vibration, you attract more so what is for you. Can you talk a little bit about what that vibration is and how a person can go, how they even know if they're functioning at a low versus a high vibration?
So we'll know by how we feel. It's something so key and so important to trusting feelings, and which is also a very feminine thing, to feel and to trust feelings. And so much of the messaging that we can often get is something about feelings not being intelligent.
Wow.
So there is these feelings that we feel, they are indicating to us about the frequency of our thoughts. And so that's how we'll know if we're functioning at a high or low vibration. We'll know by how we feel.
So will it be, for example, today I felt really good, energized. Does that mean I'm functioning at a high vibration? Can you, from day to day, function from a low to a high?
Absolutely. In a given day, you can go through the various. And the thing is that we're interacting with lots of information, lots of streams of frequency, energy all the time, in the forms of our own thoughts, the thoughts other people, the thoughts of other people, things that are happening in the world, things that are happening on the news, things that are happening on the social media that we're looking at, lots of stuff that's welling up in us that comes from our own experience from months and years ago, then stuff that's welling up in us that comes from the experiences of some of the wounds that we come from, the things that they experience, and how that blood and energy and information is flowing through us. So there's so much information to be interacting with. The thing is to become aware, and to care enough. And I'll quote Abraham Hicks on this part, Abraham Hicks, and I'll say, it's important that we care how we feel enough to change something and turn something around.
Okay.
Turn it around, so because we don't have to be stuck with not feeling good and feeling negative emotion, but the thing becomes being aware of that, knowing that we don't have to, and then doing something or being in some kind of practice that helps us to shift that.
Absolutely. I like that. So I'm curious to know, can you give an example of what it looks like when you are vibrating at a low vibration and what you attract, and then the opposite, when you function at a higher vibration, what you attract?
Okay. So what I'll say is, I think it's a little bit of a it's an oversimplification to say that when I'm vibrating high, I'm gonna attract things that look like this. It's a bit of an oversimplification. I think the most important quality is that when we're vibrating high, we're gonna feel and believe a certain way about what we attract.
The confidence?
Well, not so yes, the confidence, but what I'm saying is, whatever it is that comes into our space when we're vibrating high, we are going to have certain high vibrational thoughts about that thing.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So it's not like, we don't want to be conditional shall we say, manifestors. We want to be unconditional in our, right? So that we're not just tossing ourselves all about based on whatever life circumstances are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are, when we're vibrating high, then the things that, number one, when we're vibrating high, we're probably going to notice certain other things that are also vibrating high. And that doesn't mean that the other things that vibrate low aren't around. But when we're on the frequency of vibrating higher, we're going to be attracted to, our attention is going to be attracted to the things that are also vibrating at that frequency. So it's about also what we notice. And I like to say, like, focus pocus.
Okay.
So it's kind of like the magic of where we place our focus, and our own frequency is going to affect what we choose to focus on. Because guess what? The buffet is out there.
Right.
The buffet is out there of all kinds of things that we could focus on. But when we are vibrating at a higher frequency, we're going to focus on, either we're going to focus on the other things that are vibrating high, or we're going to focus on everything from a high vibrational vantage point.
Okay. And so I wanted to know, if we're focusing at the high vibration, right? Will others around us be able to realize their focus, that I'm functioning at a higher vibration, that low vibration won't even come and approach me?
So just as in with holy men and women, all manner of people in all kinds of states of being may approach them, right? So they're not thinking, oh, well, how was I vibrating that had this person approach me and be in a wild state? Because what they're going to do is they're going to remain in their high resonance,
right? And
they're going to focus upon this thing from that place. So for us, when we blame ourselves about, it's simply about recognizing when something amazing happens, right? And we notice that it's like, I did that. And when something that we judge as not amazing happens, we also did that. And it's not any judgment, it's no blame, shame, or guilt. It just is. And we get to play with the dance of being co-creator with the divine, and we can see what can we attract by how we are feeling and resonating. But there comes a point, though, so we can be wanting to do that. There comes a point where we know that whatever shows up for us, that we are going to alchemize it, meaning we are going to turn it into something beautiful by virtue of the way we choose to focus on it. So so it's like we will not make it where it's like, okay, universe, only bring me the stuff I feel good about.
Right.
We're gonna know that we can do whatever we want to do and choose to do with what is presented to us.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I want to know a little bit about, because I know you have something coming up starting this month.
Yes.
And I'm excited to hear about that. If you could share a little bit about, it's called the Art of
Sacred Softness.
So let's touch on, what is softness from your perspective?
Okay. So the complete title of the course is Yellow Lotus Sacred Yellow Lotus. Yellow Lotus Wisdom Woman. The Art of Sacred Softness for the Modern Woman. Yes. So sacred softness, how I see that is, I see it is, we have been experiencing, as women, a certain level of high functioning stress in our bodies and beings.
Ooh.
And we are worn out.
Are we?
We are. We are.
So I know this month, March, which is Women's History Month again, you have something special that you're about to introduce to all of us. Can you share with us what it is and why you're doing it?
Okay, sure. So this is a course. It is a 5-week course. We will meet for about an hour a week on each of those days, and it's called Yellow Lotus Wisdom Woman. It's the art of sacred softness for the modern woman. And what this course really comes from my heart and soul, and it really is an offering to us women at this time that are re-establishing joy
Mm-hmm.
and refocusing on embracing ourselves as empowered beings, yes, but also embracing our sacred softness. And so this course is about it has notes in it that draw from my various experiences as a fertility and abdominal womb massage therapist,
Okay.
as an initiated priest in divine feminine spirituality, as a womb healing practitioner and trainer, and also as a student midwife. So we touch on I call them wisdoms that have to do with us contacting and staying in close proximity to our sacred and divine self, and in that not having to experience these departures from our own authenticity that
Okay.
we can sometimes experience being in this modern world.
So I wanted to know softness.
Yes.
I like that word.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Like, to be in our softness.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's talking about the soft era.
Mm-hmm.
It's a buzzword,
Mm-hmm.
but from your perspective, with your, knowledge and practices, what would you say a woman's softness is?
I would say that our softness is about us, our ability to not only be in internal harmony, but also to feel peaceful within.
Okay.
To feel and to design a life that provides ease for us.
Ease.
Yes.
Ease.
Yes, to provide and to attract and to nurture and to cultivate a life.
So, can you talk a little bit about what we would get from participating in this course?
Sure. So this is a webinar. This is a webinar, and so some of the things that we'll talk about is the art of authenticity.
Mm-hmm.
So being your true self. So identifying and honoring your inner self, your higher self, your femininity, your sacred rage, and archetypes for authenticity, awakening and activating the true self. So we're also going to talk about the art of womb connection. So being the connection that we have of being born of a mother and being women, your femininity as an extension of the mamas that you come from, those mamas as an extension of global wombs and female biological superiority.
I like that.
Hello. And your moon cycle and the cosmic womb. So we're also going to touch on the art of nourishment. And so this is about your womb wants botanicals and crystals. So this talks about what we put into our bodies and that affects our sacred softness. Because there's a something to that. It takes something to maintain this world of sacred softness that we're just kind of tossing the word around, but it takes something to live in this world and in this way, in this soft way. So also we'll talk about the art of comfort and how our wombs really want coziness and warmth, and how the sacred space of our home temples and even where we go for work and things like that, we'll talk about massage, and we'll talk about sacred bathing. Yes, we also will talk about the art of pleasure and how our wombs are actual sensual organs. And we'll talk about divine love and sacred sensuality, sensual healing, and rhythmic movement, and more. And I'm saying this, but when you come to this course, you are going to see that these are just the tip of the iceberg for what all we're going to discuss and reclaim and just revel in together.
It sounds full.
Yes.
I'm
excited.
It sounds like a full plate. Like it. A lot of the things that you touched on resonated with me, and I'm definitely excited to actually, go to the next level with this.
Yes.
Can you talk about when it starts, how much it costs,
Yes.
and what people need to do to get more information?